Look at everybody. But we now know it mostly as something we see in a folk festival. And we have gone to a few ballets where it actually functions as a ballet. Maybe or two or three, or I was too young on board at that time to really pay attention to it. But working on that collection, understanding the ballet, that's when we started to look at these different things, like the Obeah collection and trying to get out of a box. The black was there, she likes green. We did black, green, and white in that collection, but that's where we started to transform our clothing. So we made everything, even on the trousers, like Bel Air skirts, because Bel Air skirts are long and they put them in their waist as a way of the detail. So we made things longer than the person, maybe twice the length of the person, and then folded it back up. So trousers were folded, skirts were folded up, and especially when you walk in them, you get a lot of movement. It becomes like parachute, where it fills with air and it transforms. We started to work on the ideas. We started to put out on the floral stuff that we're working on now. We started it since 2006, where we tried to build some man shirts that was reminiscent of the Igungun, which is a deity or a representation of the ancestors in the Ifa Orisha tradition. So we made these shirts that were we attempted to make shirts that were altars of remembrance of our ancestors. And when I gave the idea to the staff, they said, no, this is too much work to put on one clothes, so they broke up the ideas. They put the flowers on one shirt, they put the squares on the next shirt, and they put the circles on another shirt. And we use the print, we use a series of black, white, and camouflage prints. So it doesn't look like a camouflage shirt. And so that's how we work, because we do applique, which is cutting fabric out and stitching them in. So we kind of weld things together, force things together, four stories together. And so we build a canvas on the fabric. And that was a collection I enjoyed doing.
Richard, Robert.
Yes.
How long does it take to construct an applique shirt?
An applique can take a few hours. Because we have a process where it is cut. That could take maybe in a day 20 could be cut out and laid up and stitched, maybe 8, 9. By that's one person working on that. So so the applique is very detailed, very exacting work. There are few people I know on the planet who can do it. I do it. There's another one woman and three men. 20 men living in the US and 1 man living here. At least the way we do it. I remember there was a young intern coming out from India in 2000 to work with me. And he went back with his grand idea to see if he could do it there. People told him, Mr. Man, take this thing out to my factory, please. You don't want this to make any money.
I want to try something. I want to try something here a little different. Over your right shoulder, there's an array of clothing and so on. There's an orange. It looks like a dress. Is an orange?
Yes, a dress.
Is it completed or is it under construction?
it's a complete dress, so I'm not getting up in no camera and walking into no dress.
Well, Richard, I would.
Well, what you can do is
Let me take a
find the
break.
dress online.
Oh, they gotta
Yes.
they gotta find a dress online. So if I ask you to bring one or two of those pieces, you wouldn't bring it.
All right, somebody will bring it to me.
Okay, because I've been
Well,
asked.
My assistant,
I have been
my
asked.
assistant will, my assistant will bring the dress, or we can carry the camera to the dress.
No, don't move that camera, Robert.
I'll carry the camera to the dress. I'll carry the camera to the dress. Right?
All right, sir.
Well,
Do your
all right,
thing.
okay. I'll have to put on some lights that you wanted off.
Yeah, we can see it.
Right.
So
So this is
tell us.
this is
Tell
the
us-
applique detail,
Oh,
right? So it's this details,
wow.
right?
How long
this
would
is a-
something like that take?
This dress is about how much yards? 15? 15 yards? The skirt is 10 yards, and the top is there. It takes a while to make. Also, we work with this young man called Arnaldo James. He does jewelry with buttons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's the detail.
And we can't keep the men out of this. I saw a short on that rack, Robert. Pick anyone. There's if you don't mind.
I'll go to this one. I'll go to this shirt.
Oh,
I'm close, but this is one of the newer pieces out of the collection. Trying to get out of a box caught in a pattern, and there's actually a box attached to a movable box attached to the shirt.
what? What was the idea
Right.
behind that, Robert?
But this is a piece of work we did in 1989, the square. And when I was trying to build this collection, I said I want something movable, something transformable. So we did this, but we did it nearly as big as the stable. The size of the stable was about 6 feet by 8 feet, where we eventually made them into dresses at the skirts. We don't have any up right now, but that is the purpose of the collection, trying to get out of a box caught in a pattern, also trying to move myself from doing that detailed work of applique, and see how we could do it, but we still ended up in the box because so.
Robert, you have had people like, or you have, I guess, people like David Rudder and other celebrities wearing your clothes, carnivals, steel bands, fashion shows. I think you even.
This is the carnival band. This is part of our Black Indian mask. It's a completely black band we're using furniture feathers that we collect ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the people who we pay with this, it's a heavy mask, right? Because we also use in the mask cow horn.
Wow.
Yeah. And that would be on the road. A very small batch of us would be on the road for carnival. Yeah.
How, I'm just curious. How do you decide on a particular creation, or a creation for a particular event or person? Let's.
If somebody comes to me with that, I say look at the collection first, and let's start from there. You make your choices. I'm not that kind of designer who would look at you.
Mm-hmm.
I know if you're doing a wedding dress, I make it difficult for me and for the person who's getting married. I ask them questions, I ask them to describe themselves, describe love, describe commitment, describe why they're not getting married to the other person that they're in love with, describe the life-changing event, describe what is their favorite color, describe their favorite sunset, favorite fruit, favorite insect, why they like the person, why they're marrying this person, and we take those sets of answers and I try to become a writer and pull them into some kind of poem or or group of words that the person will then get by email. And if they agree with liking those words, the group of words, the way that we strung them together, we then draw a dress according to what the story describes, which will include an applique. And if that is agreed upon, then we build the dress. And when you get the dress, the poem is printed into the lining of the dress.
Wow.
So you get that kind of. So we play with the obeah, which is, to me, people pray the word obeah, but I see obeah as anything you do or say to get your life to go the way you want. So brushing your teeth is obeah. Smiling at somebody in the street is obeah. Going to bed and resting well is obeah. And some things that some people do bigger rituals that they call obeah. So I try to claim the word instead of somebody described it to me like this. A friend, Charlotte Monroe, she says, obeah, what do you call it? What do you call it? Therapy. Those is our obeah packed in a bottle and sold to us.
Obeah is what?
Aromatherapy or homeopathic therapy is our obeah packed in a bottle and sold back to us.
Who are some designers you admire and respect?
There is one woman, she doesn't produce much anymore, out of Barbados, called Nefertari. Amazing designer. There's a woman called Jillian Bishop, an older designer in Trinidad. Beautiful construction. There is a woman called Judith. She has a line called Brown Sugar. Out of St. Kitts, there was a designer. She lives in St. Kitts now, out pretty sort of Barbados, called Diane Butcher. She had a line called Origins, but that was in the 80s and 90s. There's a woman called Chloe Cadogan out of Barbados that she did look like what we did, but they were three-dimensional. So if she did a fish, the fish will be nearly two-dimensional, sticking out the clothes, and they would have bubbles out of your dress. Kind of like it would be fantasy clothes. And then there's Trinidadian people like Kneeling, and there's a young designer out of Trinidad called Delia Allen, and a young man called Adrian Foster that I like. There is out of Martinique, Guadeloupe, there is Dennis David. There are a range of designers through the region I really admire. And extra regionally, I like what the Japanese have done to fashion. Especially when they did it in the 80s, people like Comme des Garçons, that label, and Issey Miyake and Yuji Yamamoto. Kind of old school like that. There's some designers I don't even know. I think when I heard about, I didn't even know that Alexander McQueen was around since the 90s. I only found out about him in 2006. So I do design, but in a kind of, I don't buy fashion magazines. I see it as another form of colonization of your mind, where you have to listen to trend information and follow through with it. So I am adamant in a way, I might look at trends, trying not to use the trend.
Is that would you consider that rebelling?
Yeah, it's rebellious. This year I kind of gave some allowance to Mark, who worked on this collection with me, to pull maybe what was happening on the market at that point. So that's why we have all these flowers and all of that. But the thing is, I could say that we were doing flowers in 2006 with Jean Colored Life. And we continued doing it. Sourcing trend information as a religious practice is wrong for designers. It limits the ability to create. And especially as a designer working in the region where there's so much important tools to work on trends, where you getting the trend from the Vogue that came out this week, or from the trend marketing people who tell you trends. If you're buying trends from a marketing person, you spend tens of thousands of US to get the trend book, and that money which should have been spent in buying fabric and putting into production. We do have a large market scene, market share. We have a small amount of people to sell clothes to, and that's where I come into the whole thing about spirit wear, because people say we're supposed to be doing resort wear, and I don't like the definition of it because I kind of limit. If we're doing resort wear, we either providing people coming to our island to rest and they get service for somebody to smile at them, or to make clothes for ourselves. We don't live resort lives, right? So we shouldn't describe what we do as resort collections, right? What I noticed that has been significant in design in Trinidad especially, and maybe the other islands too, people come to designers to get married in, to go to child christening, to go to the children graduation, maybe to go to a divorce, to go to a funeral. I've made so few people to get buried in. So people want to let themselves be seen. So I kind of describe it. If you want to strictly call it resort, I would strictly call it spirit wear. That is what we do, right? That's what we do. Most of our markets are people who wanting to big up themselves, to let themselves be seen, to say, look me. And if you look at what the clothes looks like, that the designers that are still out, especially from Trinidad, like Victoria Pegas and the Kneeling and the Heather Jones and Dan Eastman and the cloth, those lines have a very distinctive crafting of the fabric, decorating of the material, making it look pretty, to doing fan service, taking what was not beautiful and making it beautiful, taking what is simple, making what is basic and making it be seen differently. Even so, treating your body differently. So when I put on these clothes, I want you to see me in a different light. I don't want you to see me with the same perceived notions that you learn when you see a body like mine. Let's decorate it and let you have gyre sense a little bit to feel me in a different way, to engage with me in a different way. Because I've had stories where people build friendships, remember people who they went to school with by just wearing clothes. But sometimes my clothing or somebody else's clothing. And say, well, I buy this clothes when I go to Trinidad, or I buy this clothes. Because there was for a big period of time, people thought the collection was out of Barbados. We sold in Barbados from 1987, we started in 1986. And we sold in Barbados from 1987 to 2002. And on the waterfront in Barbados, next to the Waterfront Cafe, at a shop called Origins of Person and Colors of the Caribbean. And people thought the collection was Barbadian. So we got a big range of Caribbean buying the collection.
What is the biggest challenge for you in marketing your work, your designs?
Having to do it all the time. Having to have a call card in your pocket every time somebody asks you. Somebody asks you, how is your business going? Do I ask you, how is your life going?
What drives you nuts about Robert Young?
No, I could answer that question. What is hard? What is hard about it? That's what you asked?
No, I asked what drives you nuts?
People who are politicians are regular, normal Caribbean people.
I think the bandwidth is starting to go again.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Competition I'm having.
Yes, we're almost finished.
Right. So there is not significant support by the state for creation of ideas. Right? Especially creative ideas. There is not support by the state. Any of our states for that. Trinidad and Tobago, we had a Trinidad and Tobago Fashion Week, which was heavily subsidized by the government, the administration, between 2008 to 2010. This administration came into power, and the monthly Prime Minister was on the platform, as on the runway, talking about the significance of Trinidad fashion, Caribbean fashion. I know that this government has set up something called Creative TT, which is a creative investment mechanism, but I don't know if the people who are leading it understand how to to generate ideas and get them into production. I think we understand oil industry and maybe sugarcane and rum selling, right? We don't understand that things have to be made in a kind of way that is, there are a lot of struggles and difficulties around working with people. Because clothes making, people, down to the fabric people, people's hands are in it all the time. It's not something like oil where you just extract it from the ground and then process it and sell it, right? This is growing cotton, getting it woven, getting it dyed, bringing it to people to transform the idea into clothes, getting people to work on it and put their life, blood into it, create ideas, and getting it sold. The history of that is only about 20 years in the region because we are independent 52 years, and the way the colonials run the place, you had to buy from them. That's why all of us know Milo, Carnation, Ovaltine, Horlicks, and we go down a list. Kiwi polish, all those things were made in the honor or in the with the permission of the Queen, right? We are now trying to make things, and it will be obzocky. It will be difficult, obzocky, because we haven't learned how to understand the making of things, understand our own ideas. They will expect it to be packaged like if it comes from Amazon, right? People expect your products packaging. I know designers who have spent so much resources in getting their call cards right, getting their swing tags right, and when the clothes are to be made, it's not made because they've spent all their resources in the trappings of brands.
The branding, yeah.
Branding. And brand is not those things. Brand is the emotions that are attached to something.
Robert, time is upon us, and as I said to you,
great.
I don't know how to take that.
No, not like that. Not like that. But my wife is eating in a panyard. I have to go. We have to get to Standing Ground, which is 40 miles from Port of Spain.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we have things to do still. So.
Well, here, I have 2 minutes left.
Okay. Do you have any more questions in your question box?
No more questions in the question boxes yet, but they're listening, and I know that. But you must, Robert, because I have tons of questions for you. I didn't get a chance to talk to you, ask you about vulgar fraction. I didn't get a chance to ask you a lot of things, and I want you to come back soon after Carnival. I will not risk my neck asking.
Well, the thing is, I want to talk about vulgar fraction because if it's come after Carnival, people who may be coming to Trinidad will not play the band.
Tell us about vulgar fraction, Robert.
Vulgar fraction is a very small project, a band project that I've been doing for 15, 17 years. You have to cloak yourself, you hide your face. It's a band where we make certain parts of the band, we make components that you then decorate some of it. So you extract your own creativity to make the costume yours. I present a minimal idea and you execute it and make it yours. We don't have music on the road. There's music on the streets that we can use that are from other bands. So we can move quickly through the city. We don't line up we don't line up to go on the stage. We get to the stage point and we cross the stage. And then we go to the other judging points. It's a very swift band. People enjoy themselves because they're not bound by traffic on the road. It's an enjoyable band. It's a community band. There's some people who are played in vulgar fraction because our faces are covered. You don't know who you're playing with.
Is that intentional?
Intentional, yes. Because masking is the act of masquerade and masking and becoming a mask. So you're becoming something else. So you're not no longer yourself. And that's a very African powerful thing where you can become another thing other than your name and what people see you as. So vulgar fraction does that. So this year we played Black Islands. Is the celebration of the African and the indigenous connection in the region, in the Americas, before Columbus to now. We have We're using computer parts as some parts of the decorations, a completely black band. And we are playing with a band called the Warriors of Huracan, which is the last standing Black Indian talking band in the country. So we work with them. Yeah, with this band, you have to learn a language, learn songs and dances. So if you don't have music on the street, we then sing.
Whose idea was this, Robert?
The Black Indian band is an 8-year-old. I met one man who has been playing Black Indian for 8 years.
Oh.
But what happened? 2 years ago, the government was digging up the Red House, and they found bones. And when they checked the bones were 350 AD.
AD?
Of native people, AD.
Wow.
Native people. So the colonials built on a burial ground. So I felt that was really, really wrong in some strange way, because they may not know that it was there. But
now they know.
It's a sign, and the government is not even paying attention to this. So I said, let's play a mass that engages the indigenous in the country and who lives here, and the African community that has kept certain parts of it alive. So Black Indian was that connection of the Orisha and the indigenous, and also my connection to the Garifuna when I went to Belize, and hearing that amazing story of the Garifuna people. So it's a Garifuna band.
Robert, why are you so passionate, and why is it so important for you to preserve?
I don't like to be bored. Boredom is my gift now, because if I keep on going, I'll die early. I can't keep on going. Boredom is my friend now. But I get fired from effort and from coming up with ideas and engaging people. Sometimes my friends get really upset with me because I have to drag them along. So but I'm not going, and I still come.
Second to last question. Has boredom ever produced anything for you? Any design?
I can't answer that question. It's private.
All right.
Because what men do when they don't want to be bored?
I understand.
Colin, do answer that question yourself. Fix your face when you see your partner.
Huh? All right, in the chat.
You're laughing.
In the chat, I have to laugh. In the chat room, GYUSA to TMT said, "Ready for bossa wine and at the carnival." Oh, God.
Okay, all right, good.
Well, you know what? My last question to you is, what makes you laugh out loud?
Like when I'm a terrorist to someone, like what I just did to you, I will laugh.
Okay, buddy. Robert, look, man, this really has been a wonderful conversation. I mean, in spite of the many technical, the few technical glitches and so on, but
yeah,
and thank you for indulging us by showing us some of these pieces and explaining them and so on. And I'm not going to keep you much longer. I know you have ways to go.
All right. Thanks a lot. I looking forward to seeing what I said online after, and I appreciate that you do this work.
Thank you.
Because the range of people you have interviewed and the commitment to doing that is what you have to do. What you're doing is significant. You're making doing your own limbo.
Thank you.
Place where there was once none. Yeah.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
All right, okay.
Good night, man.
Good night.